I'm about to do something I didn't think I'd ever have to do again. 3 years ago, I downsized from a 3,000 square foot house into this 27-foot Class C motorhome. I got rid of almost everything I owned. And I told myself, that's it. I'm done downsizing. This is my life now. Well, I was wrong because this year I'm hitting the road for 10 months to explore the Western National Parks. And my RV, as it's currently packed, it's too heavy, too full, which means I have to leave things behind, things I love, things that have become part of my RV life. Some of these decisions really hurt, but this process taught me something profound about what we actually need versus what we think we need. So today I'm showing you what's staying, what's not, and the 5 questions I asked myself about each item, including the one that almost broke my heart to leave behind. You know, when people think about RV living, they imagine this one-time downsizing event. Sell your house, pack your RV, boom, you're living the dream. 3 years ago, I made that leap. 3,000 square feet down to 200. No storage unit, no safety net. If it didn't fit, it didn't come. And for the most part, that worked. I learned to live with less. But here's what nobody tells you about RV living. The downsizing never really stops because living in 200 square feet means constantly asking, is this item earning its space in my life right now? And here I am, planning 10 months in the Western National Parks. Mountains, deserts, remote boondocking, and every pound I carry matters. Fuel economy, weight distribution, safety on mountain roads, it all adds up. So I had to ask myself, what's truly essential for this journey? And that meant making some cuts. Some easy, some that honestly surprised me with how much they hurt. But before we talk about gear, I had to think about something even more important than any physical item unpacking: safety. When I tell people I'm doing this 10-month solo journey, the question I get asked most often is, what if something happens to you out there? And honestly, that's completely fair. I'm going to be in remote locations, sometimes hours from the nearest town, far from my family. That's why one of the first things I made sure I had wasn't a piece of gear. It was an app called Snug, and I want to thank them for sponsoring today's video. Snug was created by someone who really understood this concern, a retired nurse who was active and independent, but worried about what would happen to her dog if something happened to her, and nobody knew. That story really resonated with me. Here's how simple it is. Every day, Snug sends me a notification. I tap the big green check-in button, and that's it. 2 seconds. My kids get confirmation I'm okay. If I don't check in by my set time, Snug automatically sends an alert to my emergency contacts. What made this app essential for me? First, it's completely free. No subscription fees, no extra gadgets, just my phone. And second, it's proven. Almost 30 million check-ins have been done through Snug, and that tells me thousands of families are using this for real peace of mind. For this 10-month trip, it means my kids don't spend their days wondering if I'm okay. They get that daily notification automatically, and I don't have to remember to call or text every day. It just happens at my check-in time. Whether you're traveling solo like me, living alone, or you have aging parents, Snug is worth looking into. The basic plan is completely free to download, free to use, and it takes about 90 seconds to set up. I'll put the link in the description. Thanks, Snug. Okay, so with safety covered, let me show you the framework I use to decide what gear makes this trip and what doesn't. I've developed 5 questions that changed how I think about every item I own. Question 1, have I actually used this in the last 3 months? Not might I use it, actually used it. We're really good at lying to ourselves about this. Question 2, does it serve multiple purposes or is it a one-trick pony? In RV living, multifunctionality is everything. Items that do multiple jobs get priority. Question 3, how easily can I replace this item if I discover I need it? Can I order it on Amazon, pick it up at Walmart? How expensive is it? Or is it irreplaceable? Question 4, what's the weight to value ratio? Every pound costs fuel economy and affects safety on mountain roads. Is this item worth its weight? Literally. Question 5, am I keeping this because I need it or because letting go feels like admitting something? This is the one that gets you in the feelings. Sometimes we hold on to things because they represent who we thought we'd be. the life we imagined. And letting those things go can feel like letting go of a piece of yourself. So those are my 5 questions. Now let me show you how I applied them. First, my pop-up gazebo. This thing has given me so much shade and comfort over the past couple of years, but it weighs 38 pounds and takes up a huge amount of cargo space. For occasional use, it just doesn't make sense for this trip. And honestly, that one was relatively easy to let go of, but there are some things that had to go for this trip that I wasn't expecting. My outdoor rug. This 9x12 outdoor rug has been part of my campsite setup for 3 years now. It creates a defined space, keeps dirt from being trapped inside, makes everything feel more homey. It weighs 7 pounds. Not terrible, right? But 7 pounds plus the gazebo's 38 plus everything else, it adds up fast. And here's what I realized. I don't need a rug to create a nice campsite. The natural ground is beautiful. Dirt is fine. Grass is better than any rug anyway. I'm trying to convince myself. Can you tell? I think I was holding on to this because it made me feel like I had my act together, like I was a real RVer with a perfect setup. But this trip isn't about the perfect campsite aesthetic. It's about the parks themselves. So the rug goes into storage. Next, my 16-foot extendable ladder. When I bought this, it seemed so smart. It reaches my roof for maintenance and cleaning solar panels. I've used it exactly 2 times in 3 years. Twice. And you know what happened the other times I needed to get on my roof? I found another solution. I crawled through the escape hatch in my bunk area. I got creative. It weighs 26 pounds, and there's this voice in my head that says, but what if you need it? What if there's an emergency? And that voice, that's fear talking. That's the just in case mindset that makes us carry things we'll never use. So the ladder is out. If I need one, I'll just figure it out, just like I have for 3 years. Okay, this one might seem silly, but this actually got me a little emotional. I love decorating for Christmas, even in my tiny space. Maybe especially in my tiny space, because transforming it into something festive feels extra magical. But I'm leaving in February and coming back in December, which means I'd be carrying 10 pounds of Christmas decorations for 9 months, plus the storage space, before I could even use them again. So I'll see you in December, little friends. And then there's this, my black stone griddle. I bought this about 3 months ago, and it has genuinely changed my outdoor cooking. I can make an entire breakfast spread, bacon, eggs, pancakes, hash browns, all at one time. I can do burgers, stir fries, fajitas. I've had some of my favorite meals on this thing. This griddle represents freedom to me. It represents being able to cook elaborate meals outdoors. It represents having people over, entertaining, creating these amazing dining experiences. And it weighs about 32 pounds. It takes up massive cargo space. It needs propane, and it needs maintenance and cleaning. So I had to ask myself, am I bringing this because I need it, or am I bringing it because having it makes me feel like someone who has her life completely together? And the truth, it's a little of both. I can make amazing meals on my RV stove. I can use a simple camp stove. I can cook over a fire outside. I don't need 32 pounds of griddle to prove I'm living my best life. But here's the plot twist. This thing is actually coming with me, not because I changed my mind about the weight, but because I got sick right before I left and I couldn't get back to my storage unit in time to drop it off. So the universe decided for me. And honestly, I've already used it 4 times this first week, and I'm not mad about it. Sometimes the things we think we don't need turn out to be exactly what we needed after all. Another keeper is my portable spin washing machine. Some of you may be thinking, really? You're bringing the washing machine, but you were going to leave the griddle? And yes, I am. And let me tell you why. This little miracle machine weighs about 9 pounds. It uses minimal water. It doesn't require hookups. It has saved me so much in laundromat fees over the past year. Have I used it in the last 3 months? Every single week. Does it serve multiple purposes? It washes and spins clothes dry, and I can use the inside for storage for shampoo and soaps. Can I replace it easily? Yes, but it's a little expensive, and I really don't want to. Weight to value ratio, outstanding. 9 pounds that saves me money, time, and the hassle of finding laundromats in remote areas. This thing is non-negotiable. When you're traveling for 10 months, you need to be able to wash clothes easily and cheaply. This machine does that. It's staying. My collapsible wagon might seem like a luxury item, but hear me out. When folded, it's about the size of a small suitcase, maybe 7 pounds. But when I'm in a national park, I'm carrying gear down to a trailhead, when I'm hauling water jugs or firewood or just groceries from the camp store, or even when I'm doing laundry at a laundromat. This wagon is worth its weight in gold. I've used it constantly. It serves the purpose of being my cargo hauler, my gear organizer, my I don't want to make 5 trips solution. And in the national parks where I might be parked far away from facilities, this is going to be essential. And this is the key for that weight to value ratio. It saves my body. I'm doing this trip to enjoy the parks, to hike, to explore. The last thing I want is to throw my back out carrying heavy items across the campground because I decided to save 10 pounds by leaving my wagon at home. It's earned its spot. Next, my foldable Velotric e-bike weighs about 65 pounds. That's significant. That's more than the griddle and the ladder combined. But here's the thing. This e-bike is how I'm going to explore. Many national parks have great bike trails. Some areas are accessed better by bike paths than roads. And with the electric assist, I can cover serious distances without exhausting myself before I even start hiking. This bike transforms my radius of exploration. It means I can be parked somewhere and still easily visit visitor centers, trailheads, scenic viewpoints, and nearby towns. It's transportation, exercise, and adventure all in one. Yes, it's heavy, but it's also the key to making this entire trip work the way I envision it. So it's coming, and I'm not apologizing for that choice. My EcoFlow battery, 40 pounds of freedom. When I'm boondocking without hookups, this is my lifeline. Charging it on my solar during the day, and it powers everything at night. I've already used it on a cold Texas night with no power. It means I can power up my air compressor and put air in my tires anywhere, which sounds boring until you're in the middle of nowhere with a flat tire and suddenly that 40-pound battery becomes your new best friend. Sorry, human friends. Then there's the shoe pile. 9 to 12 pairs to be exact. I really do need shoes for hiking and biking, flip-flops for warm days and showers, and some dressier shoes in case I decide to go somewhere nice. And yes, I see the irony of downsizing over a 7-pound rug while bringing 13 pairs of shoes. In my defense, actually, I have no defense. This is who I am. There are a few other things that I've packed away. My portable AC for oppressively hot or humid nights, my foldable couch for comfort after long hikes, and my highboy scooter for quick trips around camp. And yes, I know what you're thinking. Wait, you have an e-bike and a scooter? Hear me out. Okay, I might be rationalizing a bit on this one, but it's staying. So here's what I want you to understand about all of this, about the items that made the cut and the items that didn't, about the Blackstone griddle that almost broke my heart and the spin washing machine that I'll defend to my dying day. This isn't really about stuff. I mean, it is, obviously. We've spent the last 10 minutes talking about wagons and ladders and Christmas decorations, but what this is really about, what downsizing is always really about, is getting clear on who you are and who you want to be. 3 years ago, when I sold my 3,000 square foot house and I moved into this RV, I thought the downsizing would be a one-time event. I thought I'd make those hard decisions. I'd cry over my mother's furniture. I'd donate boxes and boxes of books and clothes and kitchen gadgets. And then I'd be done. I'd be this new, minimalist, free-spirited person who lives with just the essentials. But here's what actually happened. I brought the essentials and then I added things because I'm human and humans like comfort and convenience and things that make life easier. I bought that Blackstone griddle because I love to cook and I wanted to feel like a culinary princess. I got the pop-up gazebo because I imagined myself hosting outdoor dinners under the stars. I accumulated decorations and rugs and tools because I was building a life, not just surviving in a small space. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not me doing RV life wrong. That's me living. But now I'm at this new chapter, this 10-month journey to the national parks. And this chapter requires something different from me. It requires lightness, literally and metaphorically. It requires flexibility. It requires trusting that I don't need all these comfort items and safety nets and just in case solutions. And letting go of these things, even temporarily, is teaching me that I'm stronger and more adaptable than I give myself credit for. So let me ask you, what are you carrying that you don't actually need? Remember the 5 questions. Have you used it? Does it multitask? Can you replace it? Weight to value ratio, and the big one, are you going to keep it to prove something to yourself? That last question gets you every time. So here's my challenge. Ask yourself these 5 questions about 3 items today. Just 3. See what you discover. Is my packing perfect? Probably not. Will I regret some decisions? Maybe. But I'm excited to travel later, to have less to take care of, to prove I can do more with less. 3 years ago, living in an RV seemed impossible. Now I'm spending 10 months in the most beautiful places in America. If you want to follow along on this journey, make sure you're subscribed and hit that bell. I'll be sharing the adventures, the challenges, the incredible views, and probably a few more lessons about what I really need versus what I think I need. Give this video a thumbs up if you found it helpful, and drop a comment. What's the one item you have the hardest time letting go of? I want to hear your stories. Thanks for being here and supporting this adventure. Let's go explore some national parks, and I'll see you on the road.